is king! Christ is king!
Let all that you do be done in love. A Christian, when they see their society collapsing around them, doesn't cower or run in fear. A true man, when he sees a challenge, he rises to the challenge. He digs deep within his own soul to find the strength to do what is necessary to meet the challenge in front of him. The tutelage of our Lord Jesus Christ calls us to bear our cross and to suffer in his way.
And that's why we call them Dawagandists. And we Christians come down here in the park to challenge them because they're targeting families like yours. They're targeting children like your boy. We see on the Dawagangist videos, Christian after Christian not being able to give an answer. There are Christians that have come down here equipped to give the answers to their questions. And for 2 years, we debated them. 2 years. I debated all of his friends. We beat them in every argument. And for the last 3 years, they've boycotted us because they're losing the debate. Peace be with you. God bless. Go on, sister.
I'm Bushra.
Nice to meet you, sister. Go on.
I'm originally from Syria.
Okay.
And live in America and visiting women. So I had a question and I didn't know how to answer correctly.
Sure.
So the question is, God is Trinity.
Yes.
And Father, Son, Holy Spirit are equal in knowledge.
Sure. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Are equal in knowledge and power
Yep.
and everything.
Yeah.
Right? So when they ask Jesus,
Yeah.
when is
They film you, you've got to accept them.
when is the
It's
hour?
okay, it's good for the community.
That's fine. Just try to
Find
yeah,
a way
stand like
that you
that. It
don't
doesn't want to be on
look
film,
like
bro.
They film in there.
They
Yeah,
are
he's filming as well.
Somewhere else, guys.
No, no.
This is the same.
Go on, ask your question.
So, yeah.
Look, guys, me and her are having a conversation. She wants to ask me a question. Let's all respect the lady. Let her ask her a question. Go on.
When is the hour? He said no one knows when is the hour
Yeah.
except for the Father.
Yeah.
So how come Jesus, this Son, said I don't know the hour?
So I'll answer that exact question for you.
Please.
Because the Dawagandists that come to this park, they refuse to debate people like me. If you took me to the person that asked you that question, I guarantee they'll run away. I'll guarantee.
He's debating actually with my son. He's debating.
If I go over there, he'll say he doesn't want to debate me, right? But let me answer this. Let me answer that question for you. Jesus Christ is God and possesses the full knowledge of God.
Yes.
Jesus Christ takes to himself a humanity, and that humanity limits the attributes of God.
Limits
The attributes of God. Yes.
Okay. So when Jesus Christ was a human, he
Form.
doesn't have. But he
Let me
was-
finish.
Okay.
Because the way you phrase this is very technical,
I know. Okay, go ahead.
right? So Jesus Christ takes to himself a humanity, and the humanity limits the attributes of God. Jesus Christ he possesses the knowledge, but he doesn't have access to the knowledge. Now let me give you an example, because as a human being, you've actually experienced exactly what I'm talking about. Remember that time that you went home, you put down your keys to your car or the keys to the house, then the next day you needed to leave the house and you couldn't find your keys. And you start tearing the house to pieces looking for the keys, you can't find them, and in frustration you make yourself a cup of coffee, and then while you're pouring the coffee, boom, you remember where the keys are, you go and pick the keys up straight away. You always had the knowledge, didn't you? It was always there in your mind, but for a moment you couldn't access it. So when Jesus Christ became a human being, the humanity could not access the full knowledge of God. Could not access the full knowledge of God. And so Jesus truthfully says, as a human being, because he's taken on the form of a man, the Father, only the Father knows, nor the Son, nor the angels. Because the knowledge that he had access to was connected to his mission, to the things that he came to reveal. And that was not one of the things that he came to reveal. As God, he knew all the languages of the world. But do you think he ever spoke English? As God, he knew all the languages of the world. Do you think he ever spoke French? Do you think he explained Einstein's theory of relativity? He had it with him. He possessed it. It was there, humanly. It was there in that person walking around. But his human mind did not have access to the divine mind in an uncontrolled manner. They limited the access to the divine information.
Does that diminish his godness?
No, doesn't divide the divinity. It doesn't diminish the divinity. Doesn't diminish the divinity. Let me explain why. Have you got a coin?
Point. Maybe yes, maybe no. Let me try.
So if we go alternative to the God, as to Muhammad is a prophet, compare Muhammad to Moses, compare Muhammad to Elijah.
There we go. Here's a coin. Right, here we've got a coin. This is a cent. From what country?
From
America. US cent. So here we've got a copper coin, right? And we've got a head side and a tail side, right? If I scratch this side, fair enough, that's all right. If I scratch this side, the head side, have I scratched that side?
No.
Have I scratched the tin that it's made of?
No.
Think. Have I scratched the tin that it's made of? I've scratched the tin, but have I scratched that side? No. Right. So Christ is a singular person with two natures, a divine nature and a human nature. That, in my analogy, that person is the tin that this coin is made of. It's the material that goes on this side and goes on this side. The humanity is one side and the divinity is another side. If I scratch this side, I've affected the tin, I've affected the person is affected. But the divinity is not affected. But it's still there in the same person. Like this is still in the same, with still the same material of both sides. So it doesn't diminish his divinity for him to not know as a human. But here's where he is a hypocrite. Right, here's where he's a hypocrite. Because in Islam, they have a belief that this is your coin, nearly put it in my pocket. Yeah, you can take the boy out of the council estate, but you can't take the council estate out of the boy. So here's the thing. Here's why that guy debating your son is a liar, and he's a lie to you. And maybe we go back and challenge him.
I would love to.
Right, let's go. Listen.
In a lovely way.
No, wait, this is the thing. We Christians, we have to lose our meekness. Like we're dealing with these kinds of people, we have to confront them. In his religion, he believes that the glory of Allah is restrained behind a veil that Allah created. Now, the glory of Allah is one of Allah's attributes. And if that attribute was left just to be free, it would burn up the whole of creation. But Allah veils it behind a veil. So he creates this veil, and this veil restrains his glory from burning creation. So in other words, he believes that an attribute of Allah can be restricted by a created thing. But then he says to you that when you believe it, it doesn't make sense. But he believes exactly the same thing. So shall we go and stand with your son and see if we can help him?
I love to do that.
Let's go and stand with your son. Yeah, come. How we doing, bro?
I felt I didn't answer you the right way about the question because I felt like I'm kind of weak in it. But here's the guy who has the real answer, and he answered me, and I felt very convinced about the hour.
So
he said that you would not convert him. Why is that?
And we've got on camera as well. He has made statements about Muslims on camera that will I don't agree with.
Now ask him to show you.
Debate, and this is good for you to make your
See
point
what happened, brother? I take it you're this. Is your mum came and talked to me about the kind of arguments that he's been using on you.
But it doesn't matter.
In your conversation with him, the kind of questions he's been asking you, and the conversation you've been having with him today, that he had with your mum, So the conversation the kind of conversation that he used with your mum is a very easily answered question. But people like him, they target. Right. So the first thing that I need to, the first thing I pointed out, well, it was actually the last thing that I pointed out to your mum, is that the question is a disingenuous question. Because Muslims believe, and it says it in their texts, in their books, that the glory of our face is hidden behind a veil. And Muslims believe that that veil is created. And we're talking about an Islamic text.
Are we reading this off the Quran?
No, we're reading it out of a hadith. A hadith that is respected and accepted by Muslims.
But let me ask you a question.
Yes.
So, do you want me to finish this conversation?
Can I just ask my mom a question? Mom, can I ask you a question, Mom?
Yes, go on.
I have to be honest a little bit. I saw you talking to that woman over there, and I felt like you were doing a little bit of mental gymnastics. Like, not mental gymnastics in the sense of, you were trying to not look at her point of view at all. I think you were using more verbal gymnastics of,
So what was the gymnastics? Could you give me what exactly the gymnastics were?
It just kind of felt like when you were talking to her, she would bring up a point, right? And then you'd be like, oh, this is how you guys are in general. But you wouldn't ever say
What part of the conversation are we talking about, though?
just consistently throughout the conversation.
So
I was in and out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you were in and out. So
Like your honesty.
yeah, of course.
Why would I lie, you know?
Of course.
I'm trying to find the truth.
I'm not saying that you're lying.
I
don't know anything about
No, but
it.
that's what I'm saying.
What's your name, bro?
Why he assume I'm saying he's lying? It's not a debate.
I didn't say it. I didn't say it.
That's why he does
I didn't say it. But now. But I'm having a conversation. I'm going to stand with this mother and her children.
That's my aunt.
Yeah, that's fine.
Don't do
But
the same thing you do
no.
with that
She
lady
invited
with my
me.
aunt.
She invited me, bro.
I know.
Bro, she invited me.
I know. It's fair.
So-
But just don't. I know the
No,
way
bro.
you do the talk
Bro, you don't-
conversation.
bro.
Don't do it the same way you
Bro,
talk to her because that was very disrespectful.
you have no idea what you're talking about. I'm sorry. You jumped into a conversation.
No, 'cause
No, I'm just having a conversation, bro. So, unfortunately, bro, you don't know what you're talking about. You jumped into something. Yes, you are wrong. You are wrong. And I will have an honest conversation with you. But obviously, if you're going to stand there and you're going to say something, I'm going to defend.
Oh, don't worry. I won't say
So I want to stay in this conversation. Yeah, because this is
Now
where
he's
you.
coming towards me. He's like engaged with someone.
But he wants to continue with the Muslim guy.
He doesn't feel like this is not the way.
No, I genuinely, I had
He's going to approach in a loving way. And he feels this is like the exact way.
Honestly, I'm better than my mom, if anything.
But
I
no.
understand you. I completely understand.
So we're just going to let him talk to your son. Your son doesn't strike me as able to answer these questions.
I know.
So I want to give. I can't help you anymore at the moment because you're asking me not to, and you won't let me help you. But here's my card, right? Here's my channel. Here's my email. Yeah, these, right? Yeah. But my advice to you, right, is because this guy is going to villainize me to your children. He's going to build a rapport. He's going to be funny.
Don't worry. I'm
Yeah.
going to take care of
Right.
that. But I just
But if ever you need to, I'm happy to get a Zoom call and talk with all of them.
I'd love to do that.
Yeah?
I will let you know.
But if you're asking me to go away, I will go away. But I am willing to stay here and try and help because I don't think your relatives are going to be able to take this guy on. He comes here year after year to target Christians all the time.
But you know, we are.
Let's not talk. We're not fighting here. It's not a fight.
It's not a fight. It's not a fight. But the thing is, these guys, they come here, they target people. They target tourists. These guys target tourists.
Can I ask a question? Please. We're Christians are mushrikeen, صح?
Yeah.
We're mushrikeen. We deserve to be killed.
I try
Why
to
you live in mushrikeen countries? That's the question.
We deserve to be killed. Where do you get this?
Yeah.
If something
The
doesn't
mushrikeen,
seem
mushrik.
right, you don't have to
We're
understand.
mushrikeen, right?
Yeah.
Christians
Because,
mushrikeen.
you know, it's
You know what
something
mushrik is?
Yeah.
that we
Right.
I know you might disagree with that.
Can I just say though that if you, I want to encourage you to challenge within your relatives this attitude that Christians have to be passive in the face of bullies, because I'm trying to help, and that's fine. Like if they don't want my help, I'm not going to force it, you know. And you've asked me to step out, so I'm going to step out yeah, because you've asked me to.
Hey, don't record us.
But my point is, if you disempower them to stand with strong Christians who have been taking on these guys for 5 years, then 6 years, then that means like that they are excluding themselves from the opportunity of help. There's nothing about the Christian faith that says that we have to be meek and doormats in the face of people that come here and attack our religion every single week, and they target tourists like you.
But I want to remind you, when Pilate Pontius asked Jesus, he said, way
Look,
why
all
they are
we're saying is,
persecuting you, why they
read
are
the text
crucifying
yourself.
you. He didn't answer.
And if you
Who
He
wrote
didn't
the text, by the
answer
way?
because when the person was asking
No.
Yeah.
What's
for
hadith
just
is
to
present?
ask, not to know the truth,
Yeah.
then there is no need to answer.
But when Christ went into the temple and he saw them desecrating the temple, he created a whip and he drove them all out. These you and I are the temple of God.
I agree.
And these people are targeting Christians. It's not like all Muslims are doing this. The Muslims in this park, like this man, come here every week to target tourists. They target to tourists. And then when Christians come down to challenge them, you see how he villainized me. He said, oh yeah, he says nasty things about Muslims. But the thing is, they only target tourists because they know that tourists don't have the answers to their clever questions. But when we have clever when we can answer,
I came to you.
then they don't want to debate us.
Yeah.
They don't want to debate us.
Yeah.
You see, and I want to say, sister, and I say it with love, and I say it with respect. Me and you have had a nice conversation. Yeah, I say it with love and I say it with respect. That as Christians, we do not have to be passive against our oppressors. It's not more spiritual to be passive against those that attack our faith. Yeah. Now, if
Actually, no, I don't want to.
yeah, I can give you a history lesson if you want, bro. I can give you a history lesson. Yeah. The thing is, like, you're from Syria. You need to teach him the history of what happened to the Christians in Syria, because Christians in Syria were oppressed under Islam.
They call him Bob the Builder. You won't know
But he doesn't know
his real
that.
name.
He thinks it's funny.
Honestly, I'm not
He
lying.
thinks when I said it, he was shocked, which means he doesn't know the history.
I don't know because he
Yeah.
people his real name. So somebody gave a name. I thought, okay, we call you Bob.
Wait, do they call you actually Bob Builder?
Yeah, I'm nicknamed Bob the Builder, yeah.
Wow.
I didn't choose it, by the way. So what happened was I had a debate with one of the Dawagandists here in the park called Mansour. He's someone who comes, like, I'm an evangelist, so I'm
In a not trying to paint it away, just like
I'm literally just
definitional way.
answering your question. You'll hear more if you interrupt less. Seriously, brother. Seriously. Seriously, brother. Like, no, I'm serious. I'm serious. Listen, brother.
Easy.
Right?
Easy.
An evangelist. So I'm here. I know, but being Jesus is not about being meek and mild.
You're in the church.
Yeah?
Okay, I don't think being Jesus is about being meek.
Church
Can I
don't
answer
do
your-
I
that
feel
in
like when
church.
people
Trust
say
me.
that.
Do you want me to answer your question?
Yeah, I don't care that much.
Okay.
This is the point. Like, if you say you don't care about it,
Yeah.
then why do you want to hear the answer?
No, I'm just don't care about what I was going talking about just now.
So let me,
Saying, like, I
I'm
care
going to
now.
answer your question very quickly.
Yeah.
So a Dawagangist like this is an evangelist like me. I come here.
What are you?
So
You decide what you
I'll
are.
tell you, right?
decide
I'll
what
tell you and then
are.
you can tell
Because
him.
You believe what
So
you believe.
I come
accept
here
what
as an
you
evangelist to spread the
Yeah.
Christian faith.
Yeah.
A Dawagangist is someone who comes to spread Islam. Islamically called da'i, and the activity of spreading Islam is called dawah. And so we Christians, we call them Dawagangist. Yeah, because they lie about Christianity. They lie about Christians. He's even lied about me to your son and to your nephew, your relative. He was lying about me to them. And that's why we call them Dawagandists, right? And we Christians come down here in the park to challenge them because they're targeting families like yours. They're targeting children like your boy. They target people like you. And Christians, we see on videos, on the Dawagangist videos, we see Christian after Christian not being able to give an answer. It's not your fault. No one is blaming you. But because through no fault of your own, you can't give answers, there are Christians that have come down here equipped to give the answers to their questions. And for 2 years, we debated them. 2 years, I debated all of his friends. And we beat them in every argument. You'll see the evidence on my channel. We beat them in every argument. And for the last 3 years, they boycotted us because they're losing the debate. And that's exactly why. When you brought me over here, he was so confident to talk to you, so confident to talk to your son, so confident to talk to another juvenile, but when I come, he runs. Yeah? But being meek and mild in this situation is not appropriate. Love protects. Remember, love protects.
I'm a juvenile.
Just take it easy.
I'm a juvenile.
Take it easy.
Yeah.
Bushra.
But love protects, brother. Love protects. Yes, go on.
You're a legend in our house.
Thanks be to God.
Could I ask you a favour? Say hello to my dad, Miles.
Hello, Miles. I hope that you're well and that you're blessed, that you're healthy.
Maybe come here.
And I pray God's blessing on you.
Thanks very much.
Yeah, here you go,
Watch
bro.
all your videos.
Thank you so much. That's my job. Take care.
What was the question?
I'm Jewish.
So the question the lady, no, the question the question that the lady asked is what this brother asked the lady. So she asked him, and what he's doing is he's trying to establish a rapport, because if you can entertain someone, it lowers their guard, and this is how they manipulate children in the park. He is literally, he really is, he really is, he really is. Ask your relative about.
mom.
I said ask your relative. You got to listen, bro. Ask your relative how the Christians of Syria were persecuted by the Muslim caliphates.
Okay,
Ask her that
that's
question.
all well and good and all that stuff.
But when
But
I
here's the
said,
thing,
when
you
I
don't
said,
know that guy,
when
you
I,
don't know me,
I-
and
brother,
you called us both juveniles.
no, I called you a juvenile. I didn't call him a juvenile.
And you know me less than you know him.
How old are you?
I've been sitting here less.
How old are you?
I'm not gonna bet.
There you go. You're a juvenile, bro. It's not an insult.
yeah.
It's like me saying I'm an adult. It's not an insult.